Like I said, there is a free pick at the end of the webinar too. So you guys get the best of both worlds. You get the strategy and the pick. Who knows? Maybe the next 10 bagger. All right. So we're rolling right up here on 12:15. So let's go ahead and get started, everyone. All right. So today's webinar is called The Anatomy of a 10 Bagger. All right. So everyone that's here, I see people piling into the room still as we speak. So you guys, welcome. If you're just logging on to the webinar, the live webinar, it is September 9th, 2020, 12:15 here on the East Coast in the afternoon, lunchtime, whatnot. And so today's webinar, again, the anatomy of a 10 bagger. So this is a case study on how I scored approximately a 1,000% gain on a weekly options trade. Okay. And just as a disclaimer, stocks and options trading has large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. Basically, the way I trade, any money I put into an option, I can lose. I can't lose more than I put into it, but I can lose every bit of money I put into it. If I risk $400, I can lose $400. But as you'll see today, there's large potential reward potential to be redundant. There's a large potential for gains, right? So the way I like to look at it is, well, I can lose that 400, but I can turn that 400 into 800 or 1200, or in some cases, as you'll see, 10x that 400 and maybe turn that 400 into 4,000. All right. So, but I do have to be very clear with you guys. There is, there is risk with this stuff, and there are a lot of trades that go against you. Okay. All right. So here we go. Piton 10 bagger explained. All right, so Peloton, I call the stock Piton because the ticker is PTON. So I'm talking about Peloton if I say Piton from here forward. So basically, guys, this company gained from the COVID quarantine phase while traditional gyms suffered, and many are still suffering. The company is having a hard time keeping up with demand for their bikes, which is, the bike that you sit on, and there's a computer screen in front of you, and you can join classes live, and they have instructors. So in addition to selling the bikes, the company is making money by selling monthly subscriptions. So you buy a Peloton bike, and then you also sign up, I think, for $50 a month to get on as many classes as you want, where you do the what is that kind of biking called? I forget. Saw it at the gym. I can't remember. Spin class, I think. So as many spin classes, sort of whatever they call them, I don't know. It should continue to do well even when things are more quote unquote normal. I think this is the people that get Peloton bikes and start using them aren't just going to quit when coronavirus goes away. I think they're going to basically keep most, if not all, the traction that they've made into society here with the coronavirus pandemic. All right, here's a picture of one of their bikes. If you've never seen one, doesn't look like anything special, I guess, maybe except for the computer screen that's attached to it. All right, here's a pretty interesting screenshot from statistics for their app. So you can see the number of downloads, people using the app from from January 2015 inception to now has gone parabolic just in the last few months, which of course, again, is indicative of people staying at home and exercising at home. All right. And so I've liked this stock, and I've been in it since springtime for my long-term account, and also I've traded some call options. I've accumulated my long-term position in the 30s, $30 per share range, 30, 35 or so. Made good money on the last earnings trade, which was both call options and the shares. Made really good money on Peloton. So when I saw the company announce the next earnings date as September 10th, 2-3 weeks ago, I knew it was time to look at the call option. So one of my favorite setups, ladies and gentlemen, on strong stocks is the pre-earnings run. So you might say, what's a pre-earnings run? Well, usually it works out to about 10 to 14 days before an earnings announcement. A stock, especially if it's well off the highs, will start to trickle higher towards that earnings date. So what traders are doing is they're starting to factor in the fact that it's more likely than not that that company is going to report another good earnings, another good quarter, right? So I saw that setup and thought to myself, like, this looks pretty good for a pre-earnings run. I had some doubts in my head. Don't get me wrong. You hear the news about the vaccines coming and the hospitalization numbers going down for coronavirus. So it's not like there's not any doubt in your head while you're placing these trades. But it is what it is. It was a good setup for a pre-earnings run. But little did I know I was about to score a 10-bagger. All right. This is a website that I use that kind of narrows down situations and shows you whether or not they're likely to be profitable or not. So, I use these presets here: open the position 14 days before earnings, close the position 1 day before earnings. So you don't hold it actually through earnings. Earnings are actually tomorrow for Peloton. And so the stock is trading above the 50-day simple moving average. So pretty simple scan there. And then I can see that on Peloton, on a back test for Peloton, if you do pre-earnings runs, which isn't at least recent history, you have 3 wins, 0 losses, and total return is 36%. Max drawdowns only 4%. So usually, the stock is going to at least base and not go lower during this time frame, these 2 weeks before earnings, and most of the time it goes up sharply. So pretty nice setup, pretty nice where the odds are in my favor. Of course, you still have to factor in time decay and all that stuff with options, which makes it a little more tricky than just buying the stock. But as you can see in this webinar, it's well worth it, dealing with a little bit of the extra stuff you have to deal with when you're trading options opposed to just shares. All right. Hello, Brenda. Hi, Scott. So now that I had a plan, right, which I just explained, which was getting in basically 2 weeks before earnings, and I think it ended up being about 2 weeks and change before earnings, it was time to buy some calls on Peloton. So what I decided to do is go for the September 4th calls, because the September 11th calls, which expire this Friday, were a lot more expensive because they expired after the earnings call. So anytime you buy call options that expire right after an earnings call, they're going to be way more expensive, right? Because the market has to price in, the market makers have to price in the potential for a big move either way in those options based on the earnings reaction, okay? Because we all know stocks like to react one way or another to earnings in a lot of cases. So I decided to go with the September 4th Peloton call. So this is back in mid to late August that I made this trade, and I went for the 75s. Now, mind you, the stock was trading in the 60s, so this wasn't just like an option strike where the stock was trading at 68.75 and I bought the 69 strike. No, I mean these were pretty far out of the money at the time, and so I bought the Peloton $75 September 4th calls. Which, for the reasons I just explained, were a lot cheaper than the September 11th calls, but still gave me time. I think over a week of expiration time, almost 2 weeks. And so here I alerted this in my VIP Lotto options room. So in the VIP message board, I have it divided up into channels, keep it nice and organized. So for my Peloton call trade, I listed it here. I bought the Peloton September 4th $75 calls at $1.25. I think it's due for a push into September 10th earnings. All right, so there it is. There it is, posted nice and clearly. And so here I posted some unusual options activity that I saw, which is sort of the second key element to the strategy that I use on this trade that helped me have conviction to hold on to it, and as you'll see in a minute, to average down into it. So I saw an unusual call buy on August 21st. I saw somebody buy 1100 September 20th, which are the options that expire next week because they're the monthlies. The 95 calls at 87 cents. Now those calls right now have gone up a ton. So whoever bought these calls right here, because the stock was only at 69, and over the last few days the stock's been trading between 80 and 90. So you can bet these calls are a multi-bagger forever who bought these ones too. Okay. So I posted this, and then Zach asked me, did you buy another one? I said, no, I just wanted to share. It gives me more conviction on my existing position. So whenever I see a setup that I like, and then I see unusual options buying, call buying, that goes in tandem with that sort of theory, whether it's bullish or bearish, I get a little bit excited, right? Because then I know, hey, there's somebody out there with big money that's throwing money at a trade that's very similar to the one that I'm in, right? So it gives me a little bit more conviction in my trade, knowing that it's probably going to work. Okay. Now, however, the stock did go down a day or two after that, and so I averaged down. So I averaged down at 50 cents a contract. So yeah, it went down from $1.25 to 50 cents. So I mean, that's probably the point, guys. Like I said in one of the emails I was going to share with you when I was thinking about quitting, not quitting, but selling the stock, quitting the position, and or selling the call. Sorry, and when a position goes from $1.25 to 50 cents, I mean, it's like, oh man, are you serious? I think I even lamented in the board. I said, Peloton is one of those stocks that has done well for me over time, but sometimes, man, I get frustrated with it. It was almost like it had this habit over the last few months of going up in the morning, and then the afternoon would just totally fizzle out. It was like a bunch of people were buying it in the morning with market orders, and then after lunch, it would just totally go flat to sideways, and then just kind of fizzle out, give up most of the gains of the day. Okay, but still somehow close green. A lot of days it seemed that was the case for Peloton stock. So anyways, I said, this earnings is coming up, and it should be another really great earnings report. So let me go ahead and average down. Let me buy some more. I'm not betting the farm on this stock or this trade, right? This call options trade. But I left myself some wiggle room to buy some more. So I did. I also bought some Chewy calls. I can talk about that trade too. That one was really good as well. At 160. They actually report tomorrow as well as Peloton. Right. So let's keep progressing in the trade here. Just as a visual on the chart, this is where I bought the Peloton calls. If you can see that first arrow, I know it's maybe a little hard to distinguish which one I'm talking about, but right there around August 18th, I bought the first half of the position at 125, and then the other arrow where Peloton was sort of going sideways and going down again. I bought the second half of this call position at 50 cents. So my average moved from $1.25 to 88 cents a contract. All right. So again, I bought first tranche of calls at 125, second at 50 cents, average of 88 cents per contract. All right. Then all of a sudden, a couple days goes by. As you can see on the chart, the stock started to zoom higher. Mr. Goldman Sachs decided to upgrade the stock for us going into earnings, right? So this is the kind of stuff you can anticipate. If the stock has been doing well, the trend is on their side for the company, and they haven't had any action from analysts in a while. Sometimes you can get a little bit lucky and get an analyst to upgrade the stock for you while you're in it, or if you're in call options. And man, does it light a fire under the stock sometimes. Not every time, but in this case it did. And so Goldman Sachs upgrades Peloton's target to a street high, which means the highest analyst price target on Wall Street for a particular stock, and says growth is undervalued in the stay-at-home name. So they raised the price to 96 a share from 84 a share. So pretty cool. That really lit a fire under the stock, and that's when it really started to get fun on this trade, guys. Okay, so check it out. So then, as the stock started to move higher, as you can see on the chart here, started to move higher, right? I went ahead and sold half of the position at $2. So that's like 130% or so. I don't know, but pretty nice. And so that way, if the stock just totally crapped the bed after that, I would still actually be out with a net profit, even if the rest of the calls went to zero. And I post my screenshot of those calls inside the VIP message board. Okay. So now I still have half of my position. So this is when it starts to get crazy. All right. So later that day, Peloton keeps going up. And now my Peloton calls that I have an average of 88 cents per contract on are now at $4.35 per contract, almost a 5-bagger, right? And you can see the couple replies I had there. So let's start a little discussion in the group. It was really fun. So guys, follow me on the trade as well. So what I did then is I started to put in a stop loss in on my remaining call contracts on Peloton and also on Chewy. Like I said, I'll briefly mention that trade, but I'm focusing on the Peloton one because that was a 10-bagger. So Peloton, I put a stop loss in at 250 just in case the stock totally gave up the gains of the day. Like I said a few minutes ago, Peloton had a habit of giving up the big gains that it makes. In the morning, in the afternoon, it would just totally, lose all momentum almost, right? So I said, well, I'm not going to let that happen to me. If the stock reverses, I'm at least going to sell my remaining calls at 250, which would be like let's see, at 88, I don't know, 150% or something like that win, right? So I wouldn't have been crying about that if that happened, but unbeknownst to me, the stock was going to keep beasting higher. And as you can see, the next day I woke up and checked my phone. Peloton was gapping up 3% to $79 a share. And man, it just got really crazy, guys. Check it out. Then I started posting in my VIP, in my lotto board, a lotto options channel board, whatever you want to call it. Shooting for a 10-bagger on my Peloton calls. Need $8.88 for that to happen because, 88 cents times 10 is 8.88, right? So the stock or the options then went up to 7.30. I was just watching them go up and I just couldn't believe it. Then I moved my stops up to $6 because actually as Peloton was going up, Chewy was going up too. So I was making a ton of money on Chewy calls as well, right? And then boom, I sold my Peloton calls at $9.22. So I actually sold them higher than I technically needed for a 10-bagger. I sold at $9.22 per contract, and then I sold Chewy at $8.61. So I bought those at $160. So I think those are only like a 6-bagger or so, right? Of course, post my sells, for full transparency there inside the VIP group on the message board. So yeah, guys, from 88 cents a contract to $9.22 a contract. Amazing. Here's some screenshots of my trades just so you guys can see them. So here's the first buy at 125. Here's the second one at 50 cents. And then there's my Chewy calls buy. Then I sold half of the Peloton calls at $2. That's the third image down. And then the last image on the bottom is me selling my remaining Chewy call at $8.61 that I bought at $160. And of course, the remaining 4 out of a total of 8 Peloton $75 calls at $9.22 a contract. So, wow, man, pretty incredible. So it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking to duplicate this as soon as I can and as often as I can, all right, with you guys. So a little more background on this trade. I turned approximately $880 into $5,000. Remember, I sold half at $2 and the other half at $922, or else it would have been, 880 into like $9,000, 9,500, something like that. But since I sold half at $2, you know, I didn't 10x the entire monetary amount that I put into it, right? Because I sold half of the calls at $2 per contract. Now, the trade was alerted to all VIP members via chat, text alert, and email alert. I do believe I alerted all this every step of the way. The stop losses I put in that ended up not getting hit, and the whole shebang. So everyone was basically kept up to speed on every move I was making as the trade progressed. Right. So that's what I try to do, and so everyone can follow along, and more people can take part in the trades, the high conviction trades like this that I think will work, such as pre-earnings runs on a stock like Peloton. Okay. So guys, what I do is I combine the unusual call buys, like I showed you those. Where is that slide that has the? Here it is. So remember, I saw this big call buy here, 1,100, something about 1,100 contracts of Peloton, September, 95 calls at 87 cents. Those things are probably worth a lot more than that now, I'll tell you that much. So I saw that, guys, and I combined that with what I knew to be a good tell in the pre-earnings run potential. And boom, I knew I had a good chance of hitting a winner. Like I said, I wasn't sure. There was still some doubts in my mind. I was like, oh, man, they're going to come out with a vaccine and this thing's going to tank, you know, because everybody's going back to the gym, but there's a vaccine. So, you know, there's still doubts running through your head. Don't get me wrong, right? But at the same time, you know, you look at what's in front of you and you have to take the trade because it's just a great setup, right? So I combine these unusual call buys with proven setups like the pre-earnings runs to bring my VIP traders killer alerts. As you can see, you know, from 88 cents a contract to 922. I mean, I think you guys will agree, right? And they don't always win, you know, it's probably like 50-50, honestly, you know, from the ones that win and the ones that just poop out on you. But I mean, if you can have one that goes that you lose 50%, 75%, or even goes to zero, and then you have a 3-bagger, 4-bagger, an occasional 7, 8, 9, 10-bagger, you guys get the picture on what can happen with an account, right? It can grow pretty rapidly, right? So with that being said, guys, let me just show you one more example of actually, I'll show you a couple more, all right? A couple more examples. So basically, guys, we're at a fork in the road. I'm going to show you some more examples, but we're at a fork in the road. I showed you the example on Peloton. There's going to be a lot more. Of course, there will be some I'll miss. I won't be able to get in all the call options trades that go to the moon, right? But the ones that I zero in on that do well, you guys have to ask yourself: do you want to be a part of that? Do you want to take part in them and be able to watch, or maybe you just want to watch, you know, from the sidelines for a little while until you get, you know, feel some confidence in it. That's fine. But if you have to ask yourself, is this just going to be something that you just say, hey, that's cool, that's nice, or is it going to be something that you get yourself in gear to take part in and position yourself to benefit from, right? You personally, your family, your finances, your trading account. So before we talk about that fork in the road a little more, if you want to get access like that Peloton call that I showed you, that call buy that gave me a lot of conviction in the trade, guys, that 1,100 contracts that was bought, you know, somebody laid down some serious cash to buy those call options that are way higher now than when they were when they bought them. You need to get access to something called tradealert.com, trade-alert.com. It's $350 a month, but I think they'll give it to you for $275, which, you know, still pretty expensive. And then you can get you can do the screener that I use that shows you setups based on, you know, a number of different technical factors. That one is called CML Viz. I think they have that one's pretty reasonable. I think it's only $20 a month, and then they have one that's geared for options that's about $200 a month. But anyways, you get the point, guys, is that I'm subscribed to this stuff and I use it on the regular to screen through these things and to bring the needles in the haystack to you guys, the ones that I think have a good chance of really working, okay? So what if I volunteered to do that for you? If I screen through all these trades, these hundreds of trades that come through the unusual option scanner every day, and the charts and the setups and keeping my ear to the ground on what companies are doing well in this kind of economy. And only share, what if I screen through them, only share the ones that look best to me every single time I spot them. Would you be interested in that? So guys, that's exactly what I do. I share my best options buys I see each day with my VIP traders. And you are about to get access to a deal on an annual VIP trader membership where you get access to the options alerts and much more, which you'll see at over 50% off. Alerts just like this that I posted in the Lotto options board. So QRTEA, that's the Home Shopping Network stock, believe it or not. Posted that July 28th. You can see I notated the chart here on where those calls were posted at. Stock had a nice run from the 10s into the 11s. FSLY, this has been a wild stock lately. I said this is the best call buy I've seen so far today. There was somebody bought 1,793 call options while the stock was trading at $84.53 a share. And boom, you can see what happened to the stock the next day. The calls and the stock ripped higher. Could have made good money on either or both. Those same calls moved up 382% by the end of the day that following day. So pretty amazing stuff, right? Another one, we had a BHC see some unusual call buying on Tuesday, July 28th. A buyer bought over 10,000 January 21 calls. Then the stock gapped higher on earnings, and those calls went from 155 to 380. So over 100%. It was quick. Then the stock sort of faded off after that, but you get the point. They worked if you're a trader, right? And you always have to be a trader, quote unquote. Always tell myself, I have to remind myself, always be a trader. Don't fall in love with a position, especially options. That's why on the Peloton calls, guys, I didn't shoot for a 10 bagger. I had my stop loss in. I was ready to get stopped out, right? Because you always have to be a trader. But you can see that print was there. It did go from 155. They were bought at 155, and they spiked the next day to $3.80. Okay, what they did is they announced a spin-off. So whoever bought these calls, I wonder if they knew about that coming, about that spin-off, right? So pretty neat. So basically I can get a summary every day throughout the day or at the end of the day, whenever I want it. I can get a summary of the biggest unusual options trades of the day. You can see this one's from Friday, August 7th. Snapchat was the biggest one of the day. Then you had CRM. We know those CRM calls made a ton of money now because if you look at a daily chart of CRM, you'll see what I'm talking about because the stock went to the moon on earnings. So, you have to weed through them. Of course, they don't all work. And I've developed a knack for sort of learning to ignore the ones that are not worth paying attention to, because some of them will just waste your time and money. Because sometimes even these people with big money to spend on options trades don't know what they're doing. Either that, or it might just be hedging, right? So there's some nuances here, guys, to these options trades. Like, somebody that bought those snap calls could have been shorting the stock, and they could have just been buying those calls as a hedge on their short. So there's some nuances there. We don't know the full picture every time, but the key is to look for certain types of these options trades, and that's what I do. Where I think the odds are likely that these are basically just trades that somebody's placing because they think the stock is going much higher, and they may know a specific reason why. Okay. And that beeping you hear in the background is my options scanner going off, as a matter of fact. All right. So let's see here. Oh, so here's some chatter that happened in the VIP message board. So I put in here a huge amount of AT&T. August 14th, 30, 50 calls just went through. And then a few days later, Jim Fowler said, Matt, I picked up some of the AT&T calls that you mentioned in at 11 and out at 33. So 200% gain on AT&T calls there for Jim. It was pretty cool to see that. Here, QQQ puts as well. I post the buys. I post the sells. So, guys, I alert I will alert the lottos that I take and also post the ones I find interesting. So there's going to be some trades that I post that I might actually not actually take the trade myself, right? I don't usually like to have more than like, 8 to 10 positions. I'm just get kind of scatterbrained if I do. So I like to keep my positions, between stocks and options no more than 8 to 10 at a time. But that doesn't mean somebody else might not want to take the trade, and it very well could work. That's why I'm posting it, because I think it has a high probability of working. Somebody's asked me, how is your service different from so many others offering unusual options activity? All right, so I kind of already covered that, but I'm going to reiterate that before we're done. All right. Here's some more chatter here. Facebook calls was a nice trade. Somebody made about 30, 40% there. So guys, to get access to these trades, and I'm going to cover that question that the trader just asked me, how is your service different from other unusual option services? Okay, so I'm going to cover that. So, but before I do that, I want to get the offer out there. So I'm doing something special by offering you access to a VIP trader where you get these options alerts and much more that you're going to see here in a second for a full year for either A, B, or C. So it's either $3,000, $2,500, or $2,000. What do you guys think? Well, you guys might know already. It's actually D, none of the above. And so it's $1,497. This is $1,497. And that gets you a full year to VIP Trader for just, like I said, $1,497. So let me go ahead and get that offer button live for you guys. Give me just a second. I just got to click a magical little button here. All right, so you should have a button that just popped up on your screen and where your chat room is. Okay, no problem, trader. I was going to reiterate it anyways. So again, click the link, guys. It'll take you to the order form. I think the order form says 25 spots open. I've got 5 spots that have already been taken, so it's actually 20 that are open. 20 spots open for this round, VIP traders, and then it'll be closed. Here's another guy in the chat room. His name's Adam. He's a realtor in Texas, and he's also a very avid, sharp options trader. I think he told me he turned like $13,000 into $70,000 or something a couple years ago. But he traded some Apple calls there, did really well with them. So he's in there posting actively. Also, guys, as a perk to being a VIP trader is you guys also get private message access to me. So forget emailing me. You guys can send me a private message right on the VIP board, and I get to them really quickly. All right, so it sends me a notification. I check my email every day too, but that's one of the perks of being in the VIP group is, hey, send me a private message. Okay. Also, there is additional content included in the VIP Trader. So there's a separate channel. Like I said, there's separate channels in the VIP message board to keep things nice and organized. So I don't have people posting, a lotto options trade on Apple that expires in 2 hours in the same channel as someone's talking about an investment in a stock they want to keep for 5 years. That doesn't make any sense. So I have it divided up into channels. I have long-term picks, a lot of options, oil trades, quick flips, crypto. Some of these channels have gone dormant, but a lot of them are still active. I have somebody posting Forex trades now. Dr. Lee, he's really good, which I'm going to do myself whenever I can get the mental bandwidth to start doing it. So separate channels, keep things nice and organized. You guys get access to my long-term portfolio, which is doing really well this year. Even though the market's been really volatile, I've done really well for my retirement account, and you guys will see all my positions in there and be able to follow along if you choose. Okay. Chewy's one of them. I got it at 47, so that one's doing pretty good for me. Obviously, Peloton too, which is you can see here. This is where I started getting into it for my long-term in the 30s. So you also get the email updates. Okay, so like I said, text, email, chat room. Okay, message board, whatever you want to call it. Nice, clear, concise, brief but not too brief. Email updates to my VIPs. I send them out every week. Okay. Sold half of my Peloton at 67, so I sold half at about 85% gain. The rest of my position is not quite free, but almost. And so I think I'm just going to hold that till the cows come home. I don't know. So again, chat, text, and email, all three. Can't miss it, right? There's no way to miss a trade. If you're ignoring your phone and your email and the chat, then you're probably off grid, right? You're not going to be able to miss the trade if you're at least one out of the three gets your attention. Okay, so I included a screenshot of my my long-term account there, so not hiding anything. See my winners and losers. Thankfully, my losers are a lot smaller than my winners. So some of those are bag holds that I had from a few years ago that are just kind of stuck in my retirement account. But since I started this project of alerting everyone to my long-term trades, it's been doing really well. Here's actually a graph from my account. It's actually higher than this now. I think it hit 100K the other day when Piton and Chewy were like nosebleed before the tech sell-off. But as you see, I've done really well. You know, doesn't skyrocket in value every month, but the long-term trend is in the right direction. So if you guys want to follow on my long-term picks as well as the short-term 10-bagger options trades, VIP Trader is for you. Okay. Also crypto, I'll place trades, flip trades on Bitcoin in there. I'll show you exactly where I put my buy and sell order in at. All right. And then also, if you're looking at this, say, hey, look, that 10-bagger sounds really good, Matt, but I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to options. Well, as a free bonus, I'm giving you a $197 value options rocket video course. I'll give you free access to that right away. Okay. As soon as you become VIP. So again, guys, full year of VIP for not $3,000, not $2,500, for $1,497. So here's my guarantee: double your retirement or trading account in 12 months, or your next year of VIP long term is free. So it's not a money back guarantee. I think it's honestly better than that. Basically, I'll work for free for you for 12 months. Keep sending you all the alerts and stuff like that, which does cost me money to send out emails and text alerts. It's not cheap. And that's all on me if I can't help you double your account in a year. All right. So Trader, if you could just email me, if you got any questions, if I missed any of your questions, just email me at matt@microcapmillionaires.com, and I'll get to you after the webinar, in case I don't answer any questions clearly. All right, so who's down for a free pick? Anybody? Just saw this one today. Should I just skip this part or just go to the other bonus that I have for you guys? I don't want to bother you guys if you don't really want the free pick. Okay. All right, so a couple people said yes, Scott, and watch. Okay. All right, cool. So I actually just posted this in my VIP, in my Lotto options board. And so ATVI looks good today. It's had two analysts, as I noted here. Sorry, it's a little bit messy looking with that red circle, but I noted at 11:30 a.m. this morning, so a little over about an hour and a half ago, the ATVI is popping today. And I think the reason is two analysts reiterated their buy ratings, one of them yesterday and the other one today. And the stock has really been trading sluggish since its earnings report, which is kind of unfair. The stock is due for a pop. It trades kind of wacky. It's on its own universe because it's a video game stock. But this is a company that makes money every quarter. As you might imagine, the quarantine is good for video game stocks and for ATVI. So this one hit this morning, 600 ATVI October 2nd. So the way to read that is October 20th means October 2020. Second means the options that expire on October 2nd. The 95 calls it 20 cents per contract. So with ATVI trading at 78.98, as you can see on that print, this thing would have to really go higher, would really have to rocket higher for these things to get in the money. Because if that stock doesn't get to 95 bucks by October 2nd, these go worthless. So combining that news with the unusual options activity is your advantage, okay? So you have a fundamental reason to like the stock, not just the unusual call activity, okay? So yeah, I think that's what separates me from the others. Like somebody asked, what separates you from the others? And I'll do this like I showed you on Peloton. I went through a screener that showed me that I had a high likelihood of doing a pre-earnings run 14 days before earnings. And you know, another thing that separates me, guys, is like, you know, I'm pretty small as far as like I said, I'm only opening the door for 20 more people. And to be honest with you, I might not have 20 people that join. Okay. All these other guys that are, they're big, you see their ads everywhere. You're going to have a hard time getting in touch with them personally. Okay. It's going to be their assistant that responds to you, or, you know, your email is just never going to get read, or, you know, good luck sending them a private message and getting a response, you know, in their chat room, stuff like that. I mean, they've got literally thousands of members. I mean, they're, I mean, to their credit, they're making a lot more money than I am by selling more subscriptions, but that's not really what I'm interested in, right? I just want to help a good handful of people provide the best service I possibly can, and make some friends along the way. Okay, I'm not in this to try to scale up my business to, you know, like Agora or something like that. Okay, so I like keeping things nice, like a nice small mom and pop shop is what, you know, what MM Publishing is all about. Okay, and narrowing it down and finding good trades to share with just a handful of other traders, not the thousands of other traders. Okay, that's too much of a headache. I don't think I'm not trying to scale up my business where I have to rent out some big building and have people answering the phone for me all the time. I'm not interested in that. Okay, so if you're on this webinar, guys, you're one of the people that I'm interested in joining and becoming a VIP trader. So again, as a recap, you get a full year of VIP trader, which includes these options alerts and the long-term alerts. But also, guys, I did announce this earlier in the webinar. This also includes a 12-month membership to Microcap Millionaires. So no more monthly payments. So if maybe you're paying $97 a month for Microcap, you're getting the stock picks, making some money. Hey, great. But guess what, guys? You'll get continued access to Microcap Millionaires alerts and updates for no more payments. Okay, so it's included with your VIP trader membership. So, you know, $97 times 12 is almost I think it's $1,164. So if you think about it, it's kind of a no-brainer. I mean, you're getting a huge bonus just for upgrading to VIP, and you're getting so much more. Okay, so you also get the crypto alerts. So flip Bitcoin. You don't have to take them, but you'll get them. The lotto options picks, the long-term picks. You get to private message me in the board 24/7. Also, you get access to other seasoned VIP traders, like I told you about Adam and Dr. Shapiro, who are sharing their trade ideas as well. Okay, so all total value over $5,000. Yours for just one payment of $1,497 for a full 12 months of VIP trader access, backed up by my double your money guarantee, which is double your trading account in 12 months, or the next year is on me. So it's not a money back guarantee. If I do money back guarantees, I usually get people that, you know, sometimes are a little unsavory, I guess. But so this is a real, I think, a fair way for me to offer a guarantee between you and I. And so if you don't double your account, it's on the honor system. Say, hey, Matt, you know, I only made 20% following your alerts last year. I say, okay, you know, I'll take you at your word, and the next year's on me. Okay. So there should be a button again. There should be a button for you to click that takes you to the secure order form. With that said, do I have any more questions? So trials, I don't have trials for this, guys. I would just say stay tuned. I mean, what I'll do is I'll probably send out, you know, some more information. Trader, if you're not an existing member, I'll make an exception for you. Just so you guys understand, there's not a money back guarantee. This is something that typically people like to get after they're familiar with me, and they're not looking for something that's gonna, take one trade. Sometimes people take one trade and it doesn't work, they get pissed and want a refund. So this is for people who are familiar with me, my style. You see that, like that Peloton trade, you see that it worked, and you like the thought process behind it. If you want to be with me for a year, this is for you. Okay. Anybody else have any preguntas? Questions? Little Spanish lingo for you guys there. All right, so again, guys, what we do is we combine the unusual options activity with proven setups that have been shown to work. So let's go back to that Peloton setup just one more time, very briefly. Okay, so I saw in my scanner that Peloton, if you open the position 14 days before earnings and sell 1 day before earnings, is proven to be a winner. Okay, last 3 trades, 3 wins, 0 losses. Total return 36%, max drawdown only 4%, telling me that during this time frame, the stock is not likely to go down, and if it does go down, it's not going to go down very much. If it goes up, it's going to go up substantially. Okay, if history is any guide, which it usually is. All right, and I bought the Peloton $75 calls, which expired on September 4th. Laid out the trade in full detail inside my VIP room. Spelled it out as detailed as I possibly could. And then also I saw the unusual activity, which was confirmed with my thought process and gave me more conviction. And then I averaged down at 50 cents, bringing down my average to 88 cents a contract. All right. So you can see here, this is where I bought the first tranche of calls, the second tranche of calls right there. All right. A couple days later, Goldman Sachs gives Peloton an upgrade, and the stock just went ripping after that. I sold half of my calls at 130%, and then it started getting crazy. I was at a 5-bagger on the remainder of the position. Put a stop loss in to make sure I didn't lose all those gains if the stock tanked. It didn't. It kept going up, so the stop loss didn't get triggered. Day or two later, I posted in the VIP message board. I'm shooting for a 10-bagger on my Piton calls and need 888 for that to happen. And I posted it was at 7:30, so I was just watching it go up and commenting as it did. And then boom, I sold them at $9.22 per contract, 10-bagger. Posted the exits in there for full transparency, as I always do. Right, and here's them in greater detail. So you can see it bottom at 125, bought more at 50. Sold half at $2 and sold the other half at $9.22 a share. And the Chewy call wasn't bad either, huh? So same concept with Chewy's as a pre-earnings firm, because they report earnings tomorrow as well. All right. So yeah, guys, I don't have any trash to talk really about the other guys who offer unusual option services. Think they're probably sharp, and their services may be good as well to subscribe to. But if you're interested in getting things that are explained and broken down well and having someone that's easy to access, such as myself, who watches these alerts every day and screens out the ones that I think are most likely to be duds and brings you the gems, the diamonds in the rough, then this service is for you. And again, you get a 12-month membership to Microcap Millionaires included. That's a special bonus. That's almost a $1,200 in and of itself. And the whole package is just $1,497. Okay, double your money guarantee. 12 months from now, if September, August 2021 comes around, you say, "Hey Matt, things gonna work out. Just let me know, and I'll give you another full year for free." All right, guys. And again, the free pick is ATVI. I think the stock's going higher, right? And the calls. All right, guys, if I don't have any more questions, we will go ahead and wrap up then. Like I said, I didn't intend on being an extra long webinar today. It looks like we're under an hour. And I got to keep watching as you can hear, those alerts that just went off. I got to keep watching my my unusual options scanner so I can alert these trades in a timely manner to my VIP members. And I hope you'll become a member of my VIP group. So I'll be sending these alerts to you. Okay, guys? And of course, you'll get all the bonuses that are listed here on your screen. All right, guys. Well, I'll be processing the replay and sending this out later. But in the meantime, if you want to get in, just click the link that says, what the heck does it say? It says join now. So click the link, the button that says join now. And if you're not ready to enter your payment details in, what you can do is just click join now. Let it open up a new tab in your browser. Okay, so click join now. It'll open up a new tab in your browser. If you're not ready to order now, maybe you got, a grilled cheese on the stove or something cooking and you don't want to burn it, just leave that open and fill out your payment info in a few minutes whenever you're ready. Okay, that'd be fine with me. Again, like I said, I have 20 spots open. Had 25, but 5 of them are gone already. So I really want you guys to be in the group, all right? So I can send my best research and share my best high conviction trades with you guys. Okay. All right, you guys have a great day, and I'll be in touch soon and sending you out the replay link.